Hello, my DIY loving friends. It's Sarah from Medicated Housewife DIY, where crafting and mental health come together. Get ready to elevate your home decor game without breaking the bank. In this video, we'll show you how to create stunning high-end looks using affordable Dollar Tree finds. So what are you waiting for? Let's go DIY together. For this DIY, I'm using one of these bamboo cutting boards from Dollar Tree, as well as 28 tumbling tower blocks, also from Dollar Tree, that I've placed into 4 groups of 7 blocks each, so a total of 28 blocks right there, although I did add 2 more blocks to each of the 4 groups later, as you will see. So for your purposes, you're going to need 36 tumbling tower blocks total. I'm using Titebond Quick and Thick wood glue, which I'll link in the description box below, but the Dollar Tree super glue will work for you just as well. So for each of my 4 groups of 7 blocks, I'm gluing 3 groups of 2 blocks glued side to side with that single 7th block left out. And then I'm going to repeat that 3 more times for a total of 4 sets of 3 2-block sets plus 1 single block, as you see right here. Next, I take the 3 sets of 2 blocks and I'm going to make a corner with them. 1 set of 2 on the bottom and the other 2 sets of 2 that are standing up and forming an L shape around that. You can pause the video or replay if you need to see that part again. Then I take that single block and I'm going to glue it flat onto the bottom set of the 2 blocks, right in the middle of those 2 blocks along the seam, as you see right here. I repeat that with the other 3 sets of 7 blocks I've made so that I will have 4 corner pieces assembled. While those corner pieces are drying, I'm going to paint my cutting board using some folk art antique wax, which I will link for you below. I paint both sides of the cutting board as well as the edges of the cutting board, and I'm going to use a dry paper towel to wipe off the excess wax. And because I wanted a darker tone on this cutting board, I did 2 coats of the wax on the front and on the back. Meanwhile, on my corner pieces, I wanted them to have a lighter contrasting color to the cutting board, so I painted the corners with some strong instant coffee that I just apply like a stain, but with less mess and less drying time, plus a lovely coffee smell. And this is where my 8 tumbling tower blocks come in, the extra ones, because I decided I wanted to make the corner pieces a little taller. So I used 2 extra blocks on each corner. I already coffee stained the extra blocks. I start by gluing them end to end in an L shape and then placing the corner on top of that L shape. And unfortunately, I wasn't paying attention. I completely cut off what I was doing on the video. So you're going to have to take my word for this. My apologies. All I'm doing is making 4 L shapes to glue under each of my 4 corners to make them taller by 1 block. And off camera, I place the 4 corners under the cutting board. And this is my very simple Dollar Tree Jenga block and cutting board tray. I love the simplicity of this tray. I think it looks great. Considering just how easy it is to make, I love the 2-tone wood look to it, but you could easily substitute that for any color combo you wanted to. Just a lovely little wood tray to display candles or knickknacks on a shelf or table. The perfect DIY. Easy, fast, but super attractive with an upscale, minimalist look. A winner. This next DIY starts with a bunch of wood dowels I got at Dollar Tree, and I'm using a pencil to mark every 1/2 inch of the dowels because I'm going to cut a total of 54 of these 1/2 inch dowel pieces. Using my miter shears, which I will link for you below, again, I cut 54 1/2 inch pieces of wood dowel. I am also using these 1-inch wood cubes I got on Amazon, and I'll link them for you below. I don't think Dollar Tree has this size cube, but the Amazon ones are very inexpensive and super useful. I am using a total of 27 of these cubes because I'm making small wood cubes into a giant wood cube. So I assemble the first layer of my cube, 3 sets of cubes in a square, and I'm using some quick and thick wood glue. I place a dab of glue in the middle of the top of the cube and attach a piece of dowel to the middle. I do this for all 9 of those small cubes on this first layer of my giant cube. So this first layer we're doing is the bottom layer of the giant cube, and all the little cubes are attached to one another via a piece of dowel. So with that in mind, I turn the 3 cubes of the top row over and place another dowel piece in the middle of that side of the cube, as you see here. And I do the same to the next row, and once I turn the cubes back upright, you can kind of envision where we're going with this. Basically, you have to use your vision of the finished giant cube to figure out which sides of those those small cubes need a piece of dowel. Hopefully that makes sense to you. It is not as complicated as it sounds. Once I finish gluing the bottom layer, I move on to the middle layer, and the dowels are pretty much attached the same way as that first bottom layer we just did. But watch how I assemble it, and you can always pause the video or replay any parts that you need to see again. When I start the third and top layer of my giant cube, the only thing I do differently is that I don't need any dowel pieces on the top of the little cubes, because again, this third layer is going to be the top of the giant cube. So there will be nothing that goes on top of it. I really hope that makes sense. I promise it's not hard. Once all my small cubes and dowels have dried, I'm going to paint them using some antique wax. I paint the whole cube and all the little attached dowel pieces, and that's for all 27 cubes and all of the attached 54 dowel pieces. I also keep the positions for the 3 layers of small cubes together as I paint them. Otherwise, it'd be super confusing to try and put this thing together later. So all 3 layers of my giant cube stay in their designated position for painting. Once the paint dries, it's time to make our giant cube. Starting with the bottom layer, I use a dab of glue on the dowels to attach each cube to the one that goes next to it. And I do this in rows for each of my 3 layers of the giant cube. I use a ruler to try and keep each of the rows as straight as possible. And again, I keep each of the 3 layers of the giant cube in position to make the assembly later on easier on myself. Once the rows have dried, I can assemble the 3 different 9 cube layers. Starting with the bottom layer, I use dabs of glue on the dowel pieces to attach the 3 rows together to complete that bottom layer, using a ruler to try and keep everything straight as I go. I repeat that with the other 2 of my giant cube layers, and I am ending with this top layer that you see right here. The very last thing to do is to assemble the 3 layers, one on top of another, to form the giant cube, as you can see me doing right here. And this is my giant wood cube riser / candle holder. I love the modern wood look of this little riser. It has tons of visual interest. It looks kind of like a puzzle, but I really like the dark wood and I am loving it as a candle holder, but it works as a riser just as easily. I swear it's an easy project. I know it looked a bit complicated. It's not. This one is sure to impress. This next DIY begins with this small wood box from Dollar Tree, and that label was so easy to remove. I wish they were all like that. I'm also using 2 wood rings like the kind you find at Dollar Tree. This one is cracked, but for our purposes, it does not matter. The first thing I do is to use this folk art white chalk paint, which I'll link for you below. I'm going to give the box and the wood rings a base coat of white with full coverage on the inside and the outside of the box and the rings. Once the paint dries, I am using a hot glue gun to drizzle hot glue over the rings in a random pattern, creating some interesting texture. And I'm just covering one side of both rings. And I'm going to allow that glue to totally dry before taking those rings outside and spray painting them all over with some Rust-Oleum metallic bright shiny gold, which I will link for you below. While the spray paint's drying, I cut some kitchen sponges into squares. Disregard the scrubber side of the sponges. Those were the only ones I had in the house. I wet them. I'm using several shades of white, gray, and black, all of which I will link for you below, and I'm going to do a faux marble effect on this entire wood box. Starting with the inside, I lay down a coat of white paint, and while the white paint is still wet, I use a light gray to lightly paint some lines across in a random pattern, and then feather that light gray paint with a damp sponge. Then I go over those gray lines again with a sponge that's dipped in white paint to mute the gray color even more. I follow that up with a darker gray paint and a smaller brush with some more lines. And again, I'm going to use a damp sponge to feather those darker gray lines, followed by a damp sponge that's dipped in white paint to mute it and to make the lines a little less prominent. Then I take a tiny brush and some black paint and make even smaller lines along some of those gray lines. And again, I use another damp sponge to feather the black lines and end it with the sponge dipped in white to mute the overall look. I repeat that exact faux marble technique on the 4 inside walls of the box before doing that same thing on the 4 outside walls of the box as well. Then I'm going to allow that whole box to completely dry. Once the paint dries, I am using this Minwax Polycrylic Glossy Top Coat, which I will link for you below. I'm using it over the whole box, inside and out, and I'm going to let this one dry for at least 3 hours or overnight. Once the box is dry and my rings are dry, I am loving the marble finish and the gold textured rings. It's time to attach the rings to the box on opposite sides. I'm using Surebonder Super Glue Gel and the accelerator spray to do this, which I will link for you below, applying the glue to the lower half of the ring and placing it in the middle of the outside wall of the box, and then using the accelerator spray to make it instantly attached. Then I repeat that with the other ring on the opposite side of the box, kind of like 2 handles. I felt like this needed a little something more, so I had these hot glue half rounds that were painted gold from a previous project. They're literally just silicone half round molds that I filled with hot glue and painted gold. So I decided to use them as feet for this little square tray. So I'm using some hot glue to attach the 4 gold half rounds to the bottom of the wood box. And oh my goodness, this is my faux marble and gold trinket tray. I love this little tray so much. I really like the faux marble glossy finish, and the hot glue encrusted gold rings are really unique, but I am loving the look of them. I think this is perfect for a bedroom or a bathroom, for jewelry or perfume. It's very elegant, very upscale, and our favorite, very easy. Just about perfect in my opinion. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments which one of these high-end Dollar Tree DIYs was your favorite and why. You know I love hearing from you. And don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to Medicated Housewife DIYs for even more budget-friendly home decor DIYs. Thanks for watching. Until next time, I'm Sarah, the Medicated Housewife, reminding you that together we're making the world a more beautiful place, one DIY at a time.